Is now the time to buy OP-14 singles and sealed product? We're talking about that and more in this episode of Bud Watch, where we take a look at all things One Piece TCG, but more of an emphasis on the collecting side of things. Guys, we have a couple giveaways going on right now, actually. So to celebrate OP-14, we're giving away a Mr. One as well as a Perona from the Illustration Box promo. All you have to do is like, comment, subscribe on this video. But we also have a 2,000 subscriber giveaway for illustration boxes 3 and 4. We'll be giving that away, of course, at 2,000 subscribers to a random liker, commenter, subscriber. Okay.
Must be user resident for both. You must be a U.S. resident for both.
I forgot, U.S. resident only. All right, everybody, let's talk about OP-14. Now, we posed the question, should you buy OP-14 right now? So we're going to go through one by one. We're going to go through the box, we're going to go through the SPs, we're going to go through the manga, and then we're going to go through the alt arts. And we're going to tell you what we think you should pick up versus what you should probably wait on. So let's start with the box, Nick. The box currently, a booster box of OP-14 on basically release. Disclaimer, this doesn't release technically until the 16th, which is this Friday. But effectively, all of these different card shops have sold a lot of their product, if not all of it already. So a lot of what we're seeing right now is effectively the release, but on a technicality because Bandai stores, they don't release their stuff until the actual release. But anyways, booster box, $276. Nick, should people buy that, yes or no?
The sad reality is you probably should buy because you might not get another opportunity on this one. Dom and I, we talked to our local game store on pre-release on Friday, and they just straight up told us that they were given 50 cases in their wave from Bandai directly, and all 50 of those cases are sold out as of pre-release day 2, which is mind-boggling. I know
it's crazy.
The one thing that Dom always mentioned and what we always said is this set in particular, being the canary in the coal mine, I think without a shadow of a doubt, the canary is definitely chirping, letting you know there's something afoot in that mine. But there's also the possibility, and I think the reality, which is that canary's dead. That canary got hit by the gas, and that thing is ship door.
I mean, we did say that, like, okay, so for OP-13, of course, it's an anniversary set. There's going to be a ton of demand from players, collectors, investors, everybody, because Bandai throws the whole kit and caboodle at that. 6 mangas, anniversary cards, crazy, crazy stuff in that set. That set probably deserves to be a high price. Now, $528, that's another topic of discussion, but this set specifically, this set, we said, would be that canary that says, okay, are the collectors, investors, everyone who's new to this market, are they going to be buying, investing, collecting sets that aren't just the Heat anniversary sets? And I think we have the answer to that question. I think they absolutely, yes, they are. I think Nick has been dubbing this the Surging Sparks moment from Pokemon, where that was the first set that just started this big skyrocket, rocket ship moon move. And I think, yeah, we have hit that moment now. I think we can safely say that the market has completely changed. I don't know if we're going to be seeing $120, $130, $140 boxes on release anymore. I think the market has just... We're in new market conditions. Things have changed. $276. A lot of you are probably looking at that price, throwing up in your mouth a little just because of what you've come to know from the other sets that have come out in the past, where you can get it for that $140, $130, depending on, even if it's like dubbed as a bad set, like OP-12 was like $99 for a couple months there. So I will agree with Nick that I think at this point, I don't think it's going to get better than what we're at right now. You might see on release day it come down to about 250, maybe if we're really lucky, 220. But I don't see it going lower than that. And I've been trying to watch other videos of other creators talking about OP-14 because I never want to be in my own echo chamber. And to be fair, I don't think I ever am because I have this guy next to me and we talk about this stuff all the time. But I was listening to people nonstop say that everything is going to nuke down. Booster box was going to be $170 to $180. Now, I'm not going to name these creators because I disagree with them. I don't think that's cool. But I will say, for the people and the creators who are saying that it's going to nuke down, I think you are wrong. I do think you are wrong. I think we are in completely different conditions. We are not in the same market that we were in. And I just don't see the box going lower than that personally. So if you guys do see your local card shop, and I've seen a lot of people on Reddit saying that their local card shops are selling it for like $200, $220, and they were mad about that. And bad news that I think I have for you guys is that I think that is probably going to be the best you see for quite some time until Bandai meaningfully reprints things. So that's Nick's opinion on the booster box. That's my opinion on the booster box. Let's talk about the manga. Should people buy the manga? Going for about $1,500 right now. And another disclaimer, we are looking at eBay because TCG Player, for pre-sale, they only allow card shops to do pre-sale. So we're looking at eBay pricing, and we're comping the Mihawk manga at $1,500 right now. Anyways, $1,500, Nick. What do you think?
I personally think that's a little bit high on the Mihawk manga. I know the market has completely transitioned 180 from where it was 6 months ago, but when utilizing Pokemon as a referencing point, one thing that Pokemon has always taught me is you judge the value of a card based on its similarities to another card, right? So when placing the Mihawk manga in the tier list of other manga cards out there, do I think it's a bad manga? Absolutely not. Mihawk looks fantastic on their Radiant Max Aura. Also a very meta card, which is going to be important to consider in your, in your ranking of it in terms of what price point it might end up at. But is it the creme de la creme? Is it a OP-06 Zoro manga? Is it the PRBO1 Sanji manga? Probably not. I would say I don't think it qualifies as that. It definitely doesn't go into the Grail category. Gear 2 Luffy, OP-05 manga, Gear 5 Luffy, definitely doesn't fall into those categories for those some really top tier mangas. So I'd place it probably somewhere in between the Bonnie from OP-12 as well as the Sanji from from PRBO2. The thing is, I know that there's a big discrepancy in price point between all that stuff. I think actually a better one would probably be, I'd place it right around in between the Bonnie from OP-12 and the Luffy from OP-11 that is finally getting the respect that I think it damn deserved. Snakeman looking mad cool in that card. Yeah. Anyways, I think that's probably where it's going to lie. So in terms of overall value, I would think it's probably going to end up around that $1,300 price point. I know Dom mentioned there was recently an eBay sale on that guy for $1,425, which sounds about right to me. I think it could drop an extra $100 to $200. So again, right around $1,300, that $1,200 price point. I think 14 is actually, we're getting to the fair end of the stick. On TCG Player, there was lowest listed right now $1,600, and then the average is $1,700. Of course, as Dom mentioned, this set very, very scarce out there. It's going to be hard to find this card. As I mentioned earlier as well, our local game store said that they are completely sold out of product during pre-release, which is absolutely mind-blowing because they're likely not the only ones like that. There's probably many stores out there that completely sold their entire wave worth of One Piece in less than 4 days, which is shocking. Again, being a clear indicator that this boom is here. The collectors are here. The sports card people are here. The Pokebros are here. The investors. Everyone's into One Piece right now, and they're all looking to buy the newest set and sealed product. Thus, we're seeing this perfect storm coming out with a lot of these cards. One thing that I have always implemented, and I'm starting to implement into buying SPs, which I'll discuss during the SP section, but for mangas in particular, I would typically buy a manga during pre-release for 80% of what the market pricing was. And the main concept for that was that I would rather buy the manga for 80% and possibly have it catch up to that percentage I bought at than let it pass me by and it just skyrocket to the moon with me not being able really to be able to purchase it because it just mooned. And the most recent one I did that with was the Sanji from PRBO2, where I purchased it for 80% of where TCG Player pricing was at the time of pre-release, which was around $1,000 to $1,100. So 80% of that is what I end up getting for it. And of course, the Sanji manga right now is sitting lowest listed is $4,000 on TCG Player. I don't believe that that's the case at all. I'm sure there's probably something more realistic over on eBay in terms of a comp for that card. So I think the overall average on TCG Player is 2,000, which that makes more sense for me on that card. But again, that's exactly what I've been trying to emphasize, and that's been my buying strategy for the manga. So what I would say is that if you can get the Mihawk manga for 80% of where current TCG Player pricing is at, I think that's a really, really good buy point, especially if you're looking to get it graded from PSA, because you're going to see that premium come back to you with getting a graded card. This is why Dom and I have always urged, and we've been talking about it more recently over the last couple of weeks, why it's so important for you guys to get out there and make connections with your local game store, and most importantly, your local player base, because that is where you're going to be able to get a lot of good deals on these cards, especially during pre-release. These really, really hard to hit rare cards where the supply is very scarce. I don't see Bandai having a reprint anytime soon for this set, to be completely honest with you. I know we're going to get into reprints a little bit more when it comes to OP-13. We discuss that later in this video, but the reality is there's not much of this product out there, and there's not much coming. Even if there was a boatload of product that did show up, how many of Mihawk mangas are really going to be entering the market? Not many. So if you can find someone nearby you who you have a connection with, or from your local game store, again, from your community of players who pulled this card, they're looking to sell it, I think most players are still looking and willing to give you a deal at 80% pre-release pricing, regardless of all this boom that's going on, and you could pick up this card for a very good price. So I think that 80% of current pricing is fair. Do I think where it's at currently, TCG Player lowest listing $1,600, I think that's too high. I think it realistically should probably be right around $1,300. I think that's more fair. But that's not a big drop. So if you overpaid for it, don't beat yourself up.
Yeah, I kind of agree, actually, on the Mihawk manga. I think we are at, like, a fair price. I actually really like Mihawk. I think a lot of people like Mihawk. He's really, really cool. This is his first manga. It's a good card. The card is actually good as well, so you're going to have demand from players as well as collectors on this one. No, I'm a big fan. I'm a big fan of this manga card. I think the last sale that we saw was an auction on eBay for $14.25. And I do think that's fair. It could drop another like 100, maybe. Could drop another 200, maybe. But I think we're not going to see anything lower than that, personally, is my opinion on it. So I think we are at a fair price for the Mihawk manga. I think if you're going to be waiting for it to hit like 900, 800, 700, I think you're going to be waiting a while, if not ever. Who knows? Depending, a lot of that always depends on if we do get meaningful reprints from Bandai. But yeah, I would say for the current market conditions that we are in right now, with the current supply that Bandai is putting out, I think we're at a very fair price, personally. But it could drop another 100 to 200. So, okay, that's the manga. Let's talk about the SPs. So we're going to talk about these kind of separately. There's 9 different SPs. Perona, Zoro, Kid Killer, Boa, Sengoku, Mihawk, Captain Kid, Weevil, and Sugar. So this one's a little bit more interesting because it's not cut and dry as like this one thing you should buy or should not buy. There's 9 different cards, 9 different characters, different varying levels of demand based off of playability and the characters that are on the cards. So we can go by these one by one, Nick.
Sure, let's do it.
I'm personally putting these into 2 different groups. There's one group with a couple cards that I think will not go down. We'll get to those. And then there's another group that might go a little down, but I think probably in the next couple weeks we'll just go back up. So anyways, Perona, current price $300. Multiple sales on eBay, by the way. What do you think, Nick? Do you think this goes down, up? Should people buy?
I like you start me off with the one that I think is kind of in the middle. Perona, I think, is the one that's walking that line in between. Is it going to just go up, or is it going to go down? Of course, Perona being a waifu character. This card having some pretty cool art on there. We've had some Perona cards recently, but a Perona SP, I don't think we've ever had a Perona SP before. This might be the first one. Actually, I think this is the first Perona SP. Which
there will be one in EVO.
There will be another one in EVO3, but Perona having that waifu tax, some cool art on there. I do think this card is likely going to go up from where the current price is at, but in the really, really short term, I'm talking like the next 2 weeks, I could see it going down a little bit. So I could see it probably fluctuating around another $50 to $60 from where it's at currently on eBay versus where it goes to. But over the next couple months, I'm guessing this is probably going to be right around a $350, $400 SP. We'll have to see. A lot of this, again, is all going to come down to reprints. But when you look at the overall big picture, there being 9 SPs in this set, such low supply, such high demand from people. It taking you now, instead of 3 cases to get 6 SPs, you have to open up 4.5 cases minimum to get the 9 SPs, which doesn't incorporate any duplicates you might get. It is just way harder to pull a lot of these cards versus what we have seen for previous sets. With that, and of course, it being a waifu with Perona, cool art, you're going to be looking at paying a little bit more of a premium on these SPs in particular. Are all of them, unfortunately, compared to similar SPs for another set would be cheaper than the ones you're have to pay for these because of all the premiums that are coming from the different factors. So I think Perona is going to go up in the long term, but in the short term, it's probably going to drop $50.
You can't have a 50% increase in SPs and not expect a 50% increase in price for the SPs is my thoughts on this. We have 9 SPs, like you were just saying. There are 9 SPs in this set. That is insane. We are approaching anniversary levels of SPs in this set, and this is just a regular set. To be fair, they're doing this so they can catch up for worldwide release. So, it makes sense why they're doing it. I'm not saying, it's a bad thing or anything like that. I think it's bad timing considering the market conditions and now players are really up in arms right now. And as players ourselves, because we do play the game as well, we do see how hard the hit rates are in this set. 9 SPs, it's crazy. Perona, I could see going down a little, maybe down to 250, maybe, but I think it's approaching fair price, personally. Like Nick was saying, first Perona SP. It is a waifu. It has that waifu tax for the people who are into that. But yeah. Zoro. This is entering that one camp for me. So Nick, Zoro, it's going for $750. Multiple sales. I've been eyeing this one like a hawk. So this is the one card that I got. So I bought this. Everything I'm saying right now, I follow to myself. Nick follows himself. We did buy some SPs. He's going to talk about his as well. But this Zoro SP, I did end up buying at the current valuation right now. I'm showing it on screen for you guys right now. It's an amazing card. Anyways, Nick, Zoro, $750. Multiple sales. What do you think?
I think we're going to have our second SP with the Nami from OP-09 that never really drops after pre-release pricing. Reason why I'm saying that for this one in particular, seeing the card in person, there's only one other card where I've told people you have to see it in person to really get a feel for how cool the card is, and the other card is the Silver Luffy from OP-11, the anniversary one. This card is gorgeous. It's a beautiful card. Dom showed me it yesterday when he picked it up, and I was just looking at it for a couple minutes. It's a fantastic card. That being mixed with great art, as well as a very popular character in Zoro. On top of that, is also a very meta card. Yeah. It is a perfect storm.
Bad news, man.
And I don't think this one is going anywhere. The key indicator on this one that's telling me that is the fact that there are multiple sales on this card in pre-release for the current pre-release price. If there was one, okay, you can make the argument that one person was just out of their mind. They made a purchase on FOMO. They didn't know what they were doing. But there being several purchases, and of course it being a popular character, it's an SP with fantastic art, as I mentioned. You're looking at a card that is likely going to just keep on going up over time. This is just, it's a great card. There's nothing more I can really say about it besides, in the words of Bruno Mars, it's going to be talking to the moon.
Damn, we were on that shit.
Almost like we do this before.
Okay, my opinion on the Zoro, of course. I mean, I don't think it's going down because I would buy it at this price. Currently, right now, my favorite card before this card was that card right there, the Chinese first anniversary Zoro. This is my new favorite card in the TCG of all time. It is so gorgeous. It is so gorgeous.
Texturing.
It is
the
so
texturing on the card is something I've never seen Bandai do, even for mangas.
So
like,
good.
The texturing is so good at highlighting the aesthetics on the card, the background stuff. It's almost like a perfect combination of the older SPs where they had art in the background. So, well, not older, but like let's just say OP-10. The OP-10 SPs where they're focusing on having art in the background, and the super textured ones that they even have in this set, OP-14. It's very good what Bandai is doing with this set of SPs in particular for EBO4, and Dom's not. He's not overreacting when he's saying it's one of the best, if not the best Zoro card.
It's amazing. This is one of those cards in the camp, like I said, that I do not think is going to go down. If you're looking for this card, I will always say don't FOMO into something. Like, if you do not have the $700, don't buy it. Just don't buy it. It's totally okay. I mean, there's no reason to get... It's just cardboard. It's just cardboard at the end of the day. But if you have the exposable income, I don't think this card's going down, personally. Now, I just want to also put a little disclaimer out there. We are not prophets. We have no idea. We are making predictions at the end of the day, and a lot of people are scared to make predictions because there's a possibility that they may be wrong. So if you guys enjoy that, let us know down in the comment section down below. But we do enjoy giving you guys these predictions. These are the kind of conversations we had before these times.
And also let us know your predictions. If you think we're completely wrong, write down in the comments. If you think we're right, let us know. If you have your own take, feel free to put it all down below, guys.
Yeah, please let us know if you think we're dumbasses. All right, Kid Killer, $230. We can only find one sale recently on eBay. But Nick, Kid Killer, what do you think? $230.
I think that one's definitely going to be going down. And as you have seen, if you've been following the market from Friday on actual pre-release day to now, it's already dropped down $50. Dom and I actually had a whole conversation about this in terms of what that means to me. And what it tells me, seeing an SP dropping from when all the product for most people came out on Friday versus where we're at now on Monday, is that the market is already speaking in terms of what it's willing to pay for the card. As Dom just said, there hasn't been many sales in this card. Only one so far. Lowest listed, I think, on TCG Player is $230. So we're using a little bit of TCG Player to factor in where we're getting our comps from for the cards that just aren't selling on eBay. And these cards not selling on eBay, again, is indicative of what the market is saying. And the market is saying that they're not really willing to pay this price for this card. Therefore, I think this card's going to go down. I could see this probably being around $160, $180 SP. Long term, again, though, it's really important to keep in mind that anything long term, you're probably going to see some growth. When you look at the overall chart that I've always said, Dom has always said to pay attention to, you have to ask, is it a popular character, Kid Killer? No, not really. I mean, Kid, maybe. Killer, no, not really. Is an SP? Sure, it's an SP of a not popular character who really has no... We don't know their future in the anime or manga right now. No spoilers, by the way. So...
I want to spoil some stuff.
You can't say nothing. You can't say nothing. But with that being said, I just don't see this card holding up at $230. I personally didn't buy it at that price. I had the opportunity to do so. I think it's just a little bit too high, and I would like it to see at that 160, 180 price point before I look to make a move on it. I even think it could go a little bit lower, but I don't want to be disrespectful of the card.
Yeah, I've already said at the beginning that anyone saying that cards are going to nuke down, especially these like SPs, these high rarity ones, I do not think are going to nuke down. I think we could see Kid and Killer go down to what Nick is saying, maybe like 180, 170. But anyone who's calling for like $90, $100, these market conditions, the rarity of these SPs, how there's 9 of them, no way, no how. But I don't think it's wrong to buy any of these SPs right now. I'll just kind of spoil that. But I do think some of these, if you wait a week or two, you could maybe get like 10 to 15% off.
And Dom is stating a really important point that we need to premise and say right now very clearly, which is that these SPs, while I think that the Kid Killer can go down, realistically speaking, if you did pick up the Kid Killer right now for pre-release pricing, even if you didn't pay a percentage for it, you paid $230 on it, you at most probably could have saved $50 to $60. Don't beat yourself up on it. If you did act emotionally through FOMO, learn from it. Just, again, take a moment to really understand that this market is just in a super crazy spot. It's causing a lot of people to have emotional turmoil, to act on emotion, but to just try to ground yourself a little bit. And keep in mind that while everything just seemingly never-endingly going up, there is some opportunity for some of this stuff to go down, especially with this newer set. We're not saying that everything is going to go down, and we're not even going to say it's going to go down by that much for the stuff that I think is going to go down for the SP category in particular, and maybe some of the alt arts that we'll get to. But again, guys, just really, really do your best and not give into your FOMO. If you did give into your FOMO during pre-release a little bit, don't beat yourself up about it, because even if you did pay a little bit of a peak price on some of these SPs, you probably didn't pay that much more than where it's going to end up at. And if you do decide to get it graded, you just made all your money back if it gets a 10, which 80% of One Piece cards get a 10. So there is some positivity out there. Don't beat yourself up.
All right, let's go through these other 6 somewhat quickly. Boa Hancock, $800, multiple sales. What are your thoughts?
Good luck. That was the one SP that I purchased for a very high amount that I do not regret really at all. I did live with a little bit of regret the following next day, because I thought to myself, I'm like, holy shit, I just bought an SP for 82.5% pre-release pricing on the day of pre-release. Like that's unheard of. When I go talk about my buying strategy, that is something I would do for mangas and higher rarity card only. As in like 3 to 4 cases, if not more. Anniversary card, maybe that's something that I would do that for. But this is the first set where I was in that situation where someone at my pre-release event had the Boa SP. There was a couple other SPs that I saw from other people that I was looking to pick up as well. And I looked at Dom and I said, what do you think? Dom looked at me and he said, I would do 600 on it, and that's that. And I ended up meeting in the middle right around $650 on the Boa is what I paid for it. As always, we always keep it open, honest, and transparent with you guys. The card's currently sitting at $800. And I'll be honest, when you look at the amount of transactions that are happening in pre-release with that card, it being Boa Hancock, a super good art style with SP, hit rate, I don't see it. I don't see it coming back down.
Yeah, I don't either. I'm this falls in my Zoro camp where I just don't see it really falling lower than this price. I just don't. It's a very popular character. This is the card that people like to collect if they're a waifu collector. We know someone specifically. Shout out to him if he's watching. Sengoku, $200, multiple sales. What are your thoughts?
I think right now 200 is just a little bit too high on that card. I would like to see it more at 160 to 170. That's where I think it's going to be more realistic at. Again, if you can get it for 80%, which is what I just mentioned, that I've been looking to do for some really, really high-tier SPs, and that's one thing I was going to mention in the last section, being we're starting to get to a point with SPs where I'm treating them like I did mangas. There are certain SPs where you just look at it, and it is so unique. It has such a great character on there. In your mind, you look at that card and you just immediately have a gut reaction of that shit's going to cost a lot of money. Like, that's just a natural reaction. Especially with the EBO3 SPs coming up, Boa Nami, those two in particular, maybe even the Uta you can throw in there. But there are certain SPs now where you just look at it and you think to yourself, I don't see how this card ever goes down. Yeah. And I don't want to implement that mentality on everyone, because I think you should always try to negotiate and get the best deal possible. But for these cards in particular that Dom mentioned, the Zoro and the Boa, that are just going up, they have multiple transactions in pre-release for current pre-release pricing, which is mind-boggling in itself. I'm starting to get out there in my community and try to get stuff for 80% pre-release on these really high-tier SPs, which is something I'd only done for manga rarity and above. And that's one thing I'm really going to emphasize to you guys. Get out there in your community. Make sure you're hitting up your local game stores. Obviously, your LGS isn't going to give it to you for 80% unless you have some really good connection. But if you know a bunch of players with these cards, they don't need it for their deck, they're not looking to collect it, most players I've ever had discussion with are more than willing to give you that cut for 80% on SPs right now as well, too. And typically on anything. Anything that a player has, they hit from pre-release, and they don't need it for their deck, they will be more than willing to sell it to you at 80% pre-release, because the previous mentality was that all this shit's going to go down. And we're getting to a point where some of this shit is just not going down. Yeah. So for the stuff that you don't think is going to go down, like the Boa, like the Zoro, I would not be afraid to try to shoot for that 80% pre-release price, personally. But
yeah, this is one of those cards. This is a meta card. This is a really good card. This is one of those cards where I can see it going down 10, 15, 20% if people are lucky. But anyone telling you that these cards are going to nuke, like I said, I think are wrong.
There's just no supply to nuke. There's just that's the thing where that train of thought really loses me. Is what causes a card price to nuke in One Piece? And the answer is supply. If there is a bunch of these SPs that hit the market, sure, they'll nuke. Okay, I'll on top of that, supply and the character on the card. We've seen SPs, and we still see some SPs that are lower in price, they're more affordable because they're not meta, they're characters no one gives a shit about, and they're for sets that were pretty widely available. In this situation, we're being told there's no product available. We have characters that are very popular in Boa and Zoro, even Perona. I throw Perona in there. Where's the logic in saying that this shit's going to nuke and just tank and go down to some ridiculous amount?
I can't blame them, really. The only reason I can't blame these people is because that's all they've been conditioned to know from the market. And that's why, like, the creators that I've been watching who have been saying that things are going to nuke down and we're going to see boxes at 180 and characters at all these cards going down and down and down. Like, the only reason I can give them a pass is because that's all they've known up until this point, and they probably just thought the anniversary set was an anomaly, you know? And they don't understand that the market has changed until Bandai does something about it. So I understand where people come from. They're just wrong. They're just wrong.
Let us know what you guys think down below.
Yeah. Mihawk SP.
What's that bad boy sitting at again? I forgot.
$350.
$350. Mihawk rating max or on the card. He looks fantastic.
Super cool card.
Dom actually hit this card in our video where we did a box opening of 96 packs.
Finally.
We round up to 100. That's our first SP we've ever hit in a box opening video, and only took us to open up 4 boxes in one video, which is... Are you surprised? Knowing us, absolutely not. Not surprised at all. The card looks fantastic. It's super, super cool. Mihawk, very, very meta right now. That Mihawk SP in particular is very meta. The card art, again, looks super dope. Rating max aura. Sitting at, you said 350?
350, yeah.
350, I think, is pretty fair for the card. I know it's dropped a little bit from where it was in the pre-release price versus now by like $50. It might drop an additional $50, $300, but as I mentioned, it having all these factors impacting it, being cool art. Mihawk, not a super popular character, but a popular character nonetheless. A lot of people, there actually is a cult following for Mihawk that I've realized.
I like Mihawk. He's cool, man.
There's been a cult following for Mihawk for sure. That card being really meta, the rarity being an SP, I think 350 is pretty fair on that card.
I think this one is fair. I think it could drop maybe like 10%, but I think this one is fair as well. Captain Kidd, $260. This card's sick.
His card is sick.
This card's sick.
This is one of the cards I picked up. So, spoiler, in the third one, I picked up the Weevil. So, I picked up the Boa, the Kid from EBO4, and the Weevil from EBO4. Those EBO4 texturing on the card, they really got me when you see it in person. I will openly admit I might have given it the FOMO. On the FOMO scale, it might have been a 2 out of 10 for me there. The texture in the cards, it's me seeing it in front of me.
FOMO, please, got FOMO.
It actually got on me. You know, a wise man admits when they've been defeated, and I was defeated for those two in particular. The current pricing on it, it's hard to say, and it's hard to say because of how cool and unique the card is, really high rarity. I think this kid is way better than the Kid Killer card. That art utilizing his Devil Fruit is so, so cool. But when looking at it, it's Kid, not really popular character. We don't know his future in the manga right now. There's a lot of stuff up in the air. I think the art can only take you so far. I think this could probably end up being right around a $200, $225 SP. I think right now where it's at, it could go down a little bit more. But long term, again, you're probably not going to see that big of a difference between where it ends up in the current market price. So
these cards are just the best cards I've ever fucking seen.
The SPs from EBO4 are actually chef's kiss.
Like, genuinely, some of the best cards I've ever seen in my life. And I've seen Lorcana, Riftbound, One Piece, Pokemon. These SPs from EBO4 are some of the best cards I've ever seen. And this is one of them. $260. I think it's fair. I'm gonna say I think it's fair. This card is terrible. This card is literally terrible. The effect it does, gameplay wise. I saw a tweet saying this Kid card is so cool, but why is it so shit? And yeah, this card is terrible. It's a terrible card. But it's so sick. It's so sick. So I mean, I think it's fair. Personally, I think it's fair. Sorry if the camera looks a little bit different now. We had a technical difficulty. The battery died. So
that will happen every now and then, folks.
Weevil SP. This is another EBO4 one. Super, super sick. What are your thoughts on this one?
This is the one I picked up. I picked up, again, 3 total SPs. This one, the Kid, as well as the Boa. This is the one that kept me up a little bit at night. I ended up paying 82.5% of where the one market comp was at. I think it sold for $280. So I paid right around $230 for it. Currently sitting around $200. I actually do think even $200 is a little bit too expensive for this one. I would say this and Sugar probably have the most room to go down out of all the SPs in OP-14. I think Weevil probably ends up being right around that $150, $140 mark. I could even see it going as low as $130, $120. Weevil, not a very popular character. Kind of has an interesting backstory if you know anything about it in the anime or the manga. I think Weevil's going to have some crazy impact in the story moving forward? Absolutely not. But the art is just so good. And that's the thing of this damn FOMO I got from the art. The art on these cards
really
is so fantastic. I got to give Bandai their flowers in this card. They somehow managed to make a Weevil card look so sick. Even Weevil's mom out there looking mighty frightening on that card with the burning in the background of the city. So I think there's definitely some room for this card to go down. If you didn't pick it up, don't worry about it. If you did pick it up, send that bad boy to PSA like I'm going to do. You'll more than likely make it up. It's probably going to be looking at around a $400 to $500 card into PSA 10. So, you know, there's room to get my money back, but this is the one where I openly admit the FOMO monster did get me a little bit on this one. Just a little bit.
The art is insane. I mean, like I've already said it. EBO4 SPs, unbelievable. Like, I don't give a crap about Weevil, to be honest, but this card, I promise you I care about this card. This card is sick as hell. But yeah, that's just the EBO4 SPs. Really good. Got to give Bandai their flowers because it is incredible. So, I mean, I don't think it'll go as low as like 130 or anything like that. I think the art is really saving it. Really saving it. I could see it going down like 20 to 25%. Maybe it's around 160 to 150. But that's where I could see this one going personally. And then the last SP is Sugar. Now, you've kind of already spoiled it, but
A little bit.
$200 for Sugar. I know you think it's kind of this one's similar to Weevil, or probably it's going to go down anywhere from like $50 to $60, you would say?
I think this one's going to end up right where I said Weevil was going to end up. So $50 to $60 off. It could even go as far as $70, I think. Sugar, not a popular character. The art is on it. I would say it's probably the most lackluster of the SPs out of all of them in the set. It doesn't give me the feeling in my jellies. You know what I'm saying? Deep down, it doesn't make me feel cool. It doesn't make me like, I don't look at the card immediately like, I really want that card. I'll be honest, as you guys know, I've been watching the series for a while now. I collect every SP that comes out in the new set. This is the one I looked at and I said, damn, Nick.
I got to get this one?
I got to buy this one, man? This card is kind of mid, man. It's kind of mid, okay? If you disagree with me, let me know in the comment section below. But this was really the one where I was getting a little bit of rumbling and the tumbling. Shout out Pooh Bear, where I was like, damn, bro, I really don't want to pick that card up, man. This card kind of sucks.
Okay, that's fair. I think the Sugar, I'm going to have the same opinion that I did with the Weevil. I think all the SPs in this set are phenomenal. I think the art from the EBO4 ones is objectively better. Personally, it's just those are the SPs that I enjoy. I enjoy the scenes. I've said that a couple times before. I know some people prefer the pattern ones that are like the Mihawk and the Boa and stuff like that. I think those are cool too, but I just prefer the other ones. I think this one will probably drop, probably like 25-30%. But we'll see. Now that we're done with all the SPs, I want to say, besides the Zoro and besides the Boa, which I think are either going to stay at their current price or go up from here, I think the other ones at these current prices right now, with the current market conditions, I think we're going to see it maybe go like this, and then maybe like 1 to 2 to 3 weeks later, we're going to start seeing them go like this and start making their way back up. Just because in this market right now, everyone is trying to get a hold of any hits they can from One Piece when it's an SP. I saw a clip from a vendor who said they did not prefer people to buy One Piece cards from them. They were only taking in trade for their One Piece cards because it was so hard to get One Piece cards that they wanted other One Piece cards for their One Piece cards. It was... I don't know if I've ever heard that before. I don't know if you've ever heard that before, but it was the craziest thing I've ever heard. And that's just the state of the market. Everybody wants these cards,
And there's none out there.
and there's none out there.
Completely scarce. Especially, again, when you consider the fact that there is really not that many boxes. When you look at, I'll never forget our card shop when they got OP-13 in. It was wall to wall of case of OP-13. Wall to wall. Yeah. For this one, there was one little kitty corner section. There was the one little kitty corner section, and that was pretty much it. Sold out of everything during pre-release day 2. There's not much of this product out there. Adding in the fact that these SPs are harder to hit, it's going to result in a little bit of a premium for sure. And as we premised out here, long term, Dom already did the whole little hand graph thing. The reality is, a lot of this stuff, guys, it's just, there's nothing out there. It's just going to go. I'm not going to tell you it's going to the moon. I will never say an SP for a non-popular character will ever be comparable to an SP of a popular character, but we're just at a point in collecting the card game where you say the word SP in front of someone and they perk up a little bit. Yeah. They're a little interested. You could show them a Gecko Moria SP, and that might make them feel some type of way about maybe even buying it. You know, it's just, we're in a very, very different time when it comes to collecting, with so many people being out there wanting to collect these really high rarity cards, and there being not much product out there for these cards. They're already high rarity, and they're even harder to hit now than they were before. Yeah, it's going to be a problem.
Okay, and then the last part is alt arts. Now, alt arts, this is the one thing where I will agree that we will probably see some nukenings happening. We're seeing like Boa Hancock alt art leader. I think I saw it like 240 or something. I saw the law at like 150. Like these, no. I do not see those staying at those prices. So when it comes to just regular alt arts, I totally see these things going down by anywhere from like 40 to sometimes even like 60 to 70% on some of these alt arts. So I would most definitely stay away from the alt arts for now. Little asterisk, maybe like the Boa Hancock alt art, maybe like those might not go down
Miss
as much.
All Sunday.
I think I saw Miss All Sunday at like $98. I totally see that going down personally. So I do think those will go down as well, just not as much, like maybe anywhere from like 20 to 40%. But
you bring up a really interesting point that we're gonna get a first glance out in OP-14, and that thing is, what is the long-term collectability of these popular characters as alt arts? We've had a little bit of a glimpse of it when you look at cards like the Boa from PRB02, that alt art that is going sicko mode right now. I think this new wave of collectors might actually try to actively collect these cards that are just a lower rarity of a popular character. I think the market is already starting to indicate that a little bit. So you're bringing up a really important point that I think is going to be very, very interesting to watch over the next month or so as all of this product floods the market. I agree. I think the alt arts are going to drop down a little bit, but I'm curious how much. Typically, we'd always see the alt arts drop around 40 to 50% from pre-release to post-release by about after like a week or two after official release. So I'm curious though. The guy that I was buying a couple SPs from, he was a vendor. One of them that I bought some SPs from, and he was beyond just firm on the price for the Miss All Sunday at a $90 comp, and I was just like, no way. There's no universe where you'll catch me paying $90 for an alt art pre-release ever. I'd rather miss the card than pay pre-release pricing on an alt art. It will never happen. So we'll see if I was right. We'll see if he was right. I think, alt art just being easier to hit has always influenced the pricing of them going down. But the argument can be made that the hit rates are just much harder in the set for all these cards because of how many there are.
That's fair.
It being a set and a half, and there just being no product out there. So I could see this set actually having a premium for some of these alt arts of popular characters, but only time will tell us, guys. So I wouldn't FOMO into it. I don't think you need to go out there and immediately swipe your credit card. Think it's the end of times if you don't buy a Miss All Sunday alt art or the Boa alt art. But I do think there is a possibility, a very small one, that these cards could retain at more value than they normally would in a different set.
I would be shocked. So shocked. It's unbelievable if they stay. Even the Boa, even the Miss All Sunday, I would be beyond shocked if they stayed at pre-release pricing, personally. Now, in this market, anything can happen. So who knows? Who knows?
To be clear, I don't think they're going to say pre-release pricing.
I don't. Yeah. I'm not saying
I'm curious what the percentage drop-off is going to be. Is the bowl only going to go down like $20 or $30 versus 50%? Is the Miss All Sunday going to stay around $80? I don't know, but that's what we'll have to see.
Okay, I want to talk about the new manga. And I got a bone to pick, man. I got a bone to pick with this one. So, Bandai revealed the manga from EBO4. Egghead Crisis. The name of the set is Egghead Crisis. I just want you, if you don't know what the manga is, for the viewers at home, I want you to take a minute. Pause this video.
A little woo-saw, close your eyes a bit.
Guess. I'll give you 10 guesses. I'll give you 15 guesses. Guess who the manga is for EBO4. Okay, you're back.
They already know.
If you don't know, I hope you played that game. If you do know, you know that this is bullshit, dude. I'm using my one cuss word for the video here, dude. It's Kobe. Kobe is the manga for Egghead Crisis. My boy Kobe ain't even at the island. He ain't even at Egghead. I mean, I guess he's part of, like, the arc where, like, there was, like, I'm not going to get into spoilers, actually. I was going to talk about the story part, but he wasn't even at the island, bro. He wasn't even at the island. And then not only is it Kobe, like, I like Kobe, actually. I actually do like Kobe. But they got him shackled down, bro. I'm locked up.
Won't let him out.
Dude. Dude. Kobe manga. Nick, man. I mean, this is one of your predictions, man. My boy's predictions wrong.
You know, who is it? Rudy always says 70-30. He always says 70-30.
30, bro.
This in the 30 for sure. My prediction for this set has such high hopes, such great feelings of what I thought it could be. My guess, if you didn't watch the video where I made my prediction for this set, I thought we were going to get a distorted future Bonnie manga.
I mean, we could still, I guess. But
no, we cannot. They have her as an all-star leader. She's on the cover.
Probably not, though. Like 99% chance.
She's on the cover of the wrapper for the pack.
You were ready, bro.
I was ready. Bonnie, that entire sequence of her with Luffy got me so hype in the anime. I was like, this is the most ship door thing Bandai could ever do. And then out of nowhere, I remember watching the trailer. Right? Because the way, if you ever watch a Bandai announcement trailer, they always show the rarest cards at the end. So they'll do like the whole SP spread, and then they'll go through like even the credits, and then they'll give a glimpse of the manga at the very end. And I remember getting to that point, I could feel, feel my heart pounding a little bit. And then they showed Kobe as a young kid, and I was like, there's no way they're doing this. And then not only that, they started showing more Kobe photos, and I'm just like,
you just do.
Oh my God, they're doing this. And then, what do they put in front of my eyes?
Shackled up, man.
In the words of Akon, he's locked up, they won't let him out. Like, what are we doing? Like, don't be wrong. Not every manga can be a banger. I get it. But still, when you look at, you're talking about Egghead, the great animation that we just witnessed on the arc. Some crazy moments happening on Egghead. They could have done an Edison manga, and it might have been better than this Kobe.
Nah, stop the cap.
Okay,
stop the cap.
Okay, don't shoot the messenger. Okay, don't shoot me for that one. But I will. Okay, that's a little bit excessive. I'm not gonna lie, but still, it's like Kobe. Did anyone at Bandai watch Egghead recently? Kobe?
I mean, I guess they're just saying he's part of like the arc, but he's on a whole different island, so I don't even consider him part of like the Egghead.
My man is stuck with Blackbeard right now. Like, what are we doing? There, like I said, there was just endless possibilities when you think of the Egghead arc, all the great art on there, plenty of possibilities. Do I dare say it? Dare say I'd rather have a Luffy manga, the 18th Luffy manga over that Kobe one for this arc? I mean, I don't know. I said, I'm really happy that Bandai's trying to diversify. But I think if anyone saw that Kaizoku Ice short of his reaction to seeing the Kobe manga,
I didn't see that, bro.
Dude,
I bet that was.
You're gonna have to. I'm gonna have to send you the link for that one. You have to throw it up right here. It's hilarious. Pretty much. Have you seen? The 1,000-eye stare meme? Like the soldier with the 1,000-eye stare, just looking forward. Bro, you've seen the meme, man. Everyone in the comments, this guy, you've seen the meme. The soldier just looking like 1,000 eyes, like he got PTSD. Looking in front.
Yeah.
That's the face Kaizoku Eyes had when they showed the damn Kobe manga with the ball and chain. Anyways, guys, I think Bandai had many better options out there. Literally, probably 90% of the characters from Egghead could have been better than.
I'm telling you,
the
I
Kobe
have a
manga there, but-
conspiracy theory.
Let's hear it.
The card game is so popular right now
Stop.
that they could put a piece of shit on a manga card and it would probably still sell, bro. And they're probably thinking to themselves, okay, let's keep some of the good ones we have, like the Gear 5 Bonnie manga for something else. You know what I was thinking?
I disagree with you. And the reason why I disagree with you, and I'm interrupting you, is because
go for
they're planning these sets probably 6 months to a year in advance. 6 months in the year.
Kobe feels so out of place,
They
though.
have to do the art. They have to do everything before this gets streamlined for them to send it to the manufacturer, let alone make a damn animated reveal video. So that means probably a year ago, someone at Bandai saw Kobe ball and chain in hand and was like,
Yo,
that's the one.
do that.
That's the one right there. And that's where it's like, this is before the boom even happened that they were making these decisions. So I'm not going to give Bandai that little bit of that credit where they're like, we're just going to hold some good stuff to the back. Like, we're being on an absolute heater, dude. We're going from PRB 02 Sanji to Anniversary Set 6 mangas, OP-14. We got Mihawk Radiant Max Aura manga. Into Kobe holding a ball and chain, man. Not even on Egghead.
I'm not saying it's likely. I'm just saying it's my conspiracy, bro.
Ain't
all I'm saying.
Ain't no
man.
conspiracy because there ain't no truth to that at all. That's a zero. All right.
Okay.
Hey, what were you saying? I interrupted you. You're talking about something in particular.
I don't know. Fuck
Oh,
you. I don't
we
remember.
move on.
All right. New Luffy serialized.
Beautiful.
This is the first serialized Gear 5 manga. I'm not manga. Gear 5 card. First serialized Gear 5 card. This might be $1 trillion, bro. It might be $1 trillion. Well, to be fair, we don't know the amount of cards there will be. It just said 0000 on it out of 0000. So, I mean, if this is the Zoro quantity,
it's 5. There's 5 zeros there, right?
I thought it was 4.
So it has to be. I don't know.
Okay, well, this point stands. We don't know the exact quantity of how many of these cards.
There's gonna be more than 100.
If there is Zoro quantity, 700, it's fucked. It's done. Okay, I gotta stop cussing. That's my second
That's
one.
your third one, actually. Third one. People at home,
they're counting.
write down. Count it down in the comments.
The Zoro one is already selling for like $20K. This one, dude, if it's 700 or lower, this thing might be 30, 40K. Please, Bandai. Please, Bandai. Do it like 1,000, 1,500. I mean, I know the normal is usually like 1,000 or 999 or whatever. Dude, oh my God, please don't do 700. This will be $1 million.
I'm gonna tell you right now, they can make it 10,000, and I promise you, it's still not affordable for.
It won't be affordable.
99% of people out there who are trying to
affordable. That is facts.
I promise you, that art on that card is fantastic.
Yeah,
there being a serialized number next to that is definitely not helping anything. That could be a regular alt art, and that would be a premium card. Man. That could be a regular promo card that's in mass production. That art on there is not helping. I'm telling you, this card is going to be worth a boatload of cash, regardless of whatever that serialized number is up there. I would love to have
5,000.
I would love to have one. That one will not be in my personal collection. That thing is going to be astronomical, in the words of Travis Scott. Actually, in the words of Future. Excuse me. How dare I?
I just love how much Bandai supports their players with banger cards that collectors actually want.
You got something to play for. You got something to play for.
You can, like, if you are genuinely insanely good at the card game, you can make a killing off of it by winning one of these serialized cards, selling it for, like, if you won the Zoro, you made a quick 20 bands, 15 bands, whatever it is right now. That's insane.
Unless you use it as your alt art leader.
Then you're just a psychopath.
Major aura.
But this is one of the things with Bandai that I freaking love. Like, I've heard horror stories about Yu-Gi-Oh! Giving away a Nintendo Switch to winners.
A microwave. Yeah, toaster.
And then you, like, compare that to Bandai making, like, Bandai knows Gear 5 is extremely sought after.
That's a huge
Then they make
premium.
a serialized Gear 5 card for their players to sell in a hot market. Like, Bandai supports their players so much. I love that, because if the players are supported, that means the card game's going to thrive. If the card game thrives, us as collectors, investors out there, like, everyone wins. Everyone wins. I just love it. I got to give Bandai props. This is awesome stuff. Really, really awesome stuff. I love the card. I do have
a question, though. Would the You know that Gear 5 Luffy that was a winner's card, a tournament winner's card where they had a first, second, and third? Would that qualify as a serialized card?
I qualify that as a 101. I don't know if that counts. Because it has like a third place stamp
No,
on it,
actually,
right?
that would be a 101 because even like the third place is a 1 of 1 unless they made multiple copies for different regions, which honestly, I don't know.
I think they do make multiple copies for different regions.
I just know there was a whole debacle about that because allegedly there was a fake card out there. Anyways, I digress. Point being, move back to whatever we're talking about.
Okay. Then, a new promo. The college promo. And I want a disclaimer. I know nothing about college sports. Zero about college sports. All I know is the card, the art. It's Luffy. There are some manga panels on the back.
I got you on this one. Don't worry.
Let me see the card real quick. Yeah, there's some manga panels on the back. It's like a Goodwill manga card. It's like a little
Saying
hand-me-down
is the Dollar Tree.
I'm
I'm curious if there's
it.
any texture. Because the Dodger Luffy, everyone talked about how bad it was because there's no texture on it.
Yeah.
I wonder if they're going to learn from this and their little texture back there. If they do, that'd be kind of cool. I'm not going to lie.
Okay, so you know some stuff about college.
I do know a little
Okay,
bit.
so
I haven't followed
what
for
do you think
a couple
about
years.
the teams? There's 5 teams on it?
There are indeed
Yeah.
5 teams. I'll read off the 5 teams in case you guys don't know. And also, apologize in advance if you don't care about the teams. But I feel like it needs some discussion to understand the collectability aspect of it. So, number 1, the Gonzaga Bulldogs. Number 2, you have the Fighting Illini from Illinois. Number 3, you have University of Houston. Number 4, you have Rutgers. Number 5, you have St. John's. Okay. So what I did actually is I pulled up the standings currently for the NCAA men's basketball team. Of course, these schools have multiple sports programs. It's not just basketball based, but the card is a collaboration for basketball, as in that's when you can grab them. So of those teams, the highest ranked right now is Houston at 7th. Followed by that is Illinois at 13. Actually, excuse me, you have Gonzaga at 9. So you've Houston at 7, Gonzaga at 9, Illinois at 13. And then St. John's isn't on here. So, and neither is Rutgers.
There's no winning team out here?
Well, the point I want to put on there, being in the top 25 is a big deal. So,
Okay.
being a ranked team as a collegiate program is definitely a very big deal.
Okay.
But the reason why I wanted to bring up the current standings is we're dealing with programs that are somewhat big in college basketball, and that's kind of it. Rutgers has a little bit of a football program. St. John's, not at all. Gonzaga, no football program really. So they're mostly just basketball programs. I think, if Bandai had the opportunity, I wish they would have gone for schools like Michigan. Michigan currently on the 4th ranked team. Of course, they have a huge following when it comes to their football program. Duke, their football program is getting a little bit bigger, but I think there are bigger programs out there in basketball that I would like to see Bandai have been able to partner with. I would have also, and I'm just going to say this right now, this is straight up bias. I'm wearing my UCLA socks out there right now. If you can't see them, I would have loved to see either UCLA, USC collaboration. I think there's 2 East Coast teams because St. John's is in New York, Rutgers is in New York. The nearest team from California is in Gonzaga. I will admit again, I'm biased because that's where we're located in California. I would have liked to see a California team there. Regardless, the card is cool. Do I think it's gonna have a lot of collectability? Yes. Do I think it would have had as much collectability if there was bigger programs on that card? No. I think the Dodgers Luffy and that collaboration with a monster franchise in sports, being the Dodgers, that is going to provide a premium that this card probably won't. I was talking to other people at a pre-release event, some people who did actively follow college sports, and they were also put to sleep by the teams on the card.
Put to sleep.
Again, if you're a University of Houston diehard fan, this card's for you, man. You enjoy that. But
You don't think the manga panels in the back is pretty cool?
I think the card is cool, but I think the collaboration with the teams in particular could have been much better. There are some good teams on there. I'm not gonna say Gonzaga is a great basketball program that's been around for a very long time. Same with Illinois. They've had many years, decades of success at these programs. University of Houston has gotten really good over the last couple of years. I think dating back to like 20, 30 years ago, Houston was much better. Don't quote me on that. I didn't follow Houston back when I did follow college basketball. But again, these really big powerhouses, UNC, Duke, would have been great to have one of those teams onto this card. Again, some of the Southern California teams, UCLA, USC, even though they're not ranked right now. I just think there are bigger programs out there that they could have tried to partner with, Ohio State, Michigan. The list goes on. There's so many big D1 programs out there that I would have liked to see Bandai collaborate with those ones that have a greater pool and following than the ones that they did get.
That's fair. That's fair.
Do I think this card is going to be really collectible? Yes, because the whole concept, you can only get it at one of the nights that they're getting rid of the card. So
it's like 5 nights, right?
Yeah, I think each team has 2 nights in particular they're doing it. So I think 10 nights total. I might be incorrect, but I thought I saw that they
it's
were
either 5 or 10. So there's multiple nights.
Yeah, there is multiple nights you can get the card, but it's going to be very limited in nature, that's for sure. As we've always stated, any card that is limited and it's promo card like this, you're going to be paying a premium. Do I think it's going to reach the Dodge Luffy level? Definitely not. Not even close. And the main reason why, again, the teams are collaborating with, and I know he's popular with the Dodgers, and the Dodgers Luffy was a one-night thing. That's the only time they had it.
Yeah.
But I'm happy to see One Piece doing collabs. And this does get us one step closer to a possible NBA collab, which, by God, Bandai, make it happen. Push that button.
That was one of my predictions, is a Lakers collab. Let me get my Zoro playing basketball card, man. That would be so gas.
We are getting one step closer to possibly begin an NBA collab with One Piece for a card, which would be great. We are already getting a collab. So they're already doing the collab with the merch collab, but I'm talking about a card in particular.
I need it so bad, dude.
We are getting close. We've gotten the NBA collab now twice because they had the Lakers collab last year. Yeah. Now we're doing a full NBA collab with multiple teams. Going in the NCAA collab for a card. Oh, one step away, maybe. One country, but we'll see.
So good. So good. Anyways, what do you guys think about the card? Let us know your thoughts in the comment section down below. A lot of it's going to, the price is, a lot of that's going to depend on the availability of the card, how many cards are being given out at each game. I think for the Dodgers card, it was assumed that there was in between like 20 to 40,000 cards or something like that, and we know the price of that one. But it won't be as popular as that one, like Nick was saying. I do think it's cool. There's some manga panels, but we will see. We will see. We'll keep our eyes out and let you guys know as we know things. Okay, let's go to some notable market movers here, Nick. First one I want to talk about is the Treasure Booster promo. There's some shenanigans going on with this card, I'll be honest. So I actually have been picking up some of these, and I have been picking up some of these for the last couple months when it was at like anywhere from like $5 to $10. Cards at $25 now, which seems pretty crazy. And I just want to make anyone who's curious about this card aware that there are people who are sending like hundreds of these to PSA. Yes. Literal hundreds. There are so many of these cards, it's unreal. Because you got one of these cards in every single Treasure Booster set that you got. Now, if you know about those, you're an OG. But a lot of people don't know about those, so I understand how some people might not know that it comes in every single one and how available that was. But yeah, those are not super rare, I'll be honest. And there are people sending hundreds to PSA, so if you are looking to pick these up, if you are looking to get a PSA 10 copy of this card, Nick has a great thesis that he's been talking about, and he thinks that there are going to be a bunch of returns happening from PSA, and that's going to flood the market with PSA 10s. I think this is a big culprit. This card right here is one of those cards that I think is being sent in mass. So I'd be careful with this one personally. Maybe wait a little bit, and I think you'll get it. But any thoughts on the Treasure Booster one?
100% agree with what Dom said. It's easier for you to just buy the card and send it to yourself than pay $300, which is I think what lowest listed is on it right now. Fast forward 3 months when PSA has about 5,000 of these graded in a pop 10, in a 10, the price is just naturally going to go down. Don't get me wrong, there's going to be high demand there, but there's no way that this promo card that's widely available is going to retain a value at $300.
Yeah.
In a 10.
Right now, anyway, of course, like if you're thinking long term, none of this applies. All right, Nami Manga, PSA 10.
About time.
Hit 5,000.
About time.
Which, I mean, it's Nami, of course. It's the only Nami manga, the first Nami manga, PRBO1 manga, which is super, super limited. Makes sense. Nami manga, it makes sense why it would be at this price. I honestly thought it would be higher, and I just think it's coming to. It's just matching all of the other mangas right now that are skyrocketing. Yeah, so I'm not surprised at the $5,000 price mark. I honestly expect it to probably be more. So if you have a Nami manga PSA 10, congratulations. If you're looking to pick one up and you don't have it yet, it could be what could be described as one of the better times to get it. I don't know if you're going to be able to get it under 5,000 in the future personally. So who knows? Who knows? But Zoro manga, 4,000. It hit 4,000 finally.
Beautiful.
I'm a Zoro collector myself. I'm a huge Zoro fan. I'm trying to collect every Zoro card. Disastrously failing.
Good luck with that one. That $25,000 card that people are using in Ultra Leader. Good luck with that.
Yeah, the serialized card, I don't. Unless, yeah.
You might need to put an asterisk there, and you're going to have it be main release Zoro cards or something.
Main release Zoro, no prize cards.
No expensive promo prize cards.
But Zoro manga finally hitting that $4,000 mark. I've actually thought I still think this manga is undervalued, but I am biased. I want to disclaimer: I am biased towards Zoro and any Zoro card. I think Zoro is the coolest character in the entire series, manga, show. He radiates aura. He's awesome. He's cool. His fights are just insane. So I love Zoro. I still think it's undervalued, but it did hit 4,000, which I'm pretty stoked about because I do have a PSA 10 manga. I think it's actually right there. So pretty cool stuff. And then some things I wanted to talk about is I wanted to check in on OP-13. OP-13, so that is the last set that came out back in November, and we have a new set coming out this week, so what better time to talk about the prices of the set before? So OP-13 mangas, regular white mangas, PSA 10. Luffy, $6,600. Crazy. I actually pulled one, and I did sell one. And I do not apologize about that at all because I'm collecting Zoro cards. This helps fund that. So Luffy is PSA 10 selling for $6,600. Sabo, PSA 10 selling for $1,900. And Ace, manga PSA 10 selling for $3,100. Any thoughts on this so far? So, I mean, my thing with this is, like, of course it's Luffy, and I just feel like anything Luffy, people are just buying nonstop. And it makes me think, like, characters like Boa, Zoro, and Nami are actually maybe a little undervalued right now. Because I would put those all on the same tier as Luffy personally. And we're seeing Luffy at $6,600, and this set just came out 2 months ago. Now, to be fair, there are so many mangas in this set. So, I mean, there's probably a lot less of this manga than there are other ones. But Sabo, Ace, Sabo 1900, Ace 31, Luffy 66. Any thoughts there, Nick?
Yeah, I think you are absolutely right. I think this is more so a supply and demand issue more than anything. I think the reason why we're seeing these price points is because we have still not gotten a full reprint of OP-13. It's been 2 months. What did I say? I said I thought all the mangas for this set were going to go down before they went up even more. Clearly, that was not the case. But the main reason why I had that reasoning was because typically by now, unless it's a one-print set, so any EB or PRB, Bandai would have some more product out there. And this one, they have not been able to get it out when the demand is at all-time high. Demand being all-time high, if you've been watching the case amounts for OP-13, they're dwindling day by day, week by week. This product is starting to completely fly off, just be non-existent on shelves. I see OP-09 more on shelves than I do OP-13 in many situations nowadays, and which is ridiculous. But that's it. It's just supply and demand.
A lot of people think it's the best set, actually.
I mean, to be fair, I did say that I thought that this set had the possibility of holding that place in people's heart and that nostalgia factor for the people who just got into the set. You could use the Straw Hat Speculator reasoning for why this is the best set, which I'm not going to disagree with, but it's just a different way to look at it, which is that this set has the overall most amount of value out of any set in trading card history. When you look at the average amount of money that you can get from a box. So there is a lot of retained value for sure in these box pricing with the possibility of what you can hit. Now, again, all those things are incredibly hard to hit. And those mangas, with there being 6 of them, how hard the hit rate it was on one in particular, if you're looking for that, as well as there being no product. Again, we're creating a perfect vacuum for supply and demand problems, and that's why we're continuing to see this set just skyrocket. I don't know what it's going to stop at this point. I can't tell you. A reprint could come out today, and I promise you might not see the box drop and need $500. Yeah. There's that much demand for this. So, again, only time will tell. I'm not going to be doomsday theorist and say that it's completely doomed if you want to pick up a box. I think that for sure, without a shadow of a doubt, I've said this since the set came out, I will die on the hill that a reprint, a very large reprint of OP-13 is going to come at some point. Whether it's this month, next month, 2 months, 3 months from now, there's going to be a huge reprint of OP-13. But again, what's that going to do with how much demand there is right now? What is a full, ginormous reprint really going to do for OP-13? The answer, not much. So
yeah, I totally agree. A huge reason why the booster box price is, and the booster box price is $528 right now. And that's that just came out. It's crazy. But a huge reason is because of these red mangas. So red manga Ace, 11.3. So 11,300 PSA 10. Red Luffy, $20,000 for a card that just came out 2 months ago. It's crazy. And then Red Sabo, 9,900, and then Gold Shanks Anniversary, 4,800. All of these prices are PSA 10, just a reminder. That's a huge reason why this box is just so astronomically high. Oh my God, $528 for an anniversary set, which Bandai prints more of these. Anniversary set 2 months later, and it's this much. It's crazy. It's crazy stuff. If you were able to pull one of these, or you were able to get one of these cards,
congratulations.
Huge congratulations, because you are a very lucky person.
And doing fantastic right now. If you kept it. I mean, even if you sold it, you're probably doing fantastic.
I pulled the Luffy manga. I did sell it, PSA 10, so I got really, really lucky. But yeah, if you're holding on to any of this stuff, congratulations. We're not going to see these prices come down until market conditions get quote-unquote better. Bandai reprints the shit out of this set. What does that look like? Like Nick said, is the demand just going to eat it up? Are we even going to see prices decrease? We would need to see a very, very, very meaningful reprint to see these prices adjust.
Gerald said it best in his interview with Straw Hat Brother. And what he said is one of the other reasons why he can give two shits. He didn't, so I guess he didn't say that. I'm not being true. Mm-hmm. He could care less about a reprint is because how many of these Grail cards are really going to come out of a reprint? Bandai could print 1,000 cases with the hit rate of OP-13 being 18 to 24 cases for all 6 mangas. Really? How many more of each manga is going to enter the market?
Especially when they have 6 mangas in a set. Like
that's what I'm saying. How many more are really going to enter the market, even if they do a full reprint? All the other singles, I think wanted posters can come down. I think SPs can come down. Mm-hmm. But the mangas for this set is where it would take, I can't even tell you, 3 reprints, 4 reprints. That's what I'm saying. They need,
it
would take a lot.
I actually do think we need we do need some meaningful reprints on certain sets. Like sets that have extreme demand, like OP-13. OP-13's demand is off the charts. And I think Bandai should be reprinting this set more than any other set. Like I said, I'm not saying they need a reprint forever. I'm just saying reprint it to a point where there is a I would say just a sufficient amount of cards for the market. Now, okay, the red mangas, if you want to have a card that is just extremely, extremely rare, I'm not going to fault them for that. That's fine. But booster boxes, the main thing is really just the booster boxes at $528 a couple months after. We gotta see some reprints, just so collectors can get more boxes, investors can get more boxes, players can get more boxes, which means they get more cards. I'm beating a dead horse by saying it this often.
Yeah, we are.
But yeah, we're gonna have to see that. All right, guys, we're moving on to the Q&A section of the video. Just a reminder, you guys can ask questions in the comment section below, and we may answer yours in the next video. First question is coming in from Bookie Collection. With One Piece, what do you suggest getting graded? Just super rare mangas and leaders? ? I think this is fairly obvious from our perspective. I mean, we've kind of already basically our freaking motto at this point. SPs, mangas, promos. Those are always the ones that we recommend getting graded. Regular alt arts and very rare occasions, depending on the character, I would say. But for the most part, we really only grade the rare stuff. The SPs, mangas, and promos.
This is, however, at the end of the day, a you question. No matter what, get what you like to collect graded. If you want a $5 promo card and you want to get it graded, I'm not going to stop you. If that's something that tickles your fancy, you're a graded collector, you like having all your cards getting graded by one grading company in particular, I would never tell you to do otherwise. So, as Don mentioned, we always like to get the higher rarity stuff graded for our personal collection, so SPs, mangas, and higher tier promo cards. But at the end of the day, this is you question, and we appreciate you asking.
Thank you so much. And then the last question is coming in from Dean of Deans, or Don of Dons 254. Any guesses on the price of the manga Mihawk within the first month of release? Well, thankfully, we actually touched on this video. I think it's at $425 right now, last auction, and we thought it was going to maybe go down 100 or 200, but we overall think it's pretty fair. Right.
Current market price $14.25. I think the lowest will probably go is $1,200. If it goes $11.50, I'd be pretty surprised. But I'd say low is probably $1,200. I think reasonable pricing is $1,300. If you can, I always emphasize try to get the card from your local community. Pre-release pricing 80% on the manga would give you it probably right around $11.50, $11. So I think that's more than fair to buy it right now if you can find it. And send it to PSA immediately. I would pay for the expedited grading on it, and you're going to be looking at a brand new spanking $2,000 slab in your collection, so long as it doesn't get pop controlled by that 20%.
Thank you guys so much for the questions. Just a reminder, you guys can ask your own questions to us, and we may answer it in the next video. All right. This has been a long one.
More than you guys know.
This has been a long one. We, of course, appreciate everyone. Our channel has been blowing up lately. I just want to say from the bottom of our hearts, thank you again. I know we say this a lot. We probably say it way too much.
I'll never apologize for being thankful, man.
But we genuinely are very thankful for everyone who watches our videos, comments, and does all the stuff. We've been getting a lot of love lately. Appreciate you guys so much. And we'll see you next Tuesday for the next one. But before we go, Nick, anything else?
As always, guys, thank you so much for watching this video and taking an hour out of your guys' busy lives on this floating rock in the middle of the endless void to be here with us, the buds, talking about one thing we all love, being the One Piece trading card game. As I always say at the end of these videos, we're going to leave up 2 links right here. I got to say it quick because only 15 seconds. One is going to be to our Beginner's Guide series. The other one is going to be a playlist to all of our previous Buds watch. And thank you all for being here. We genuinely appreciate it.
We'll catch y'all
on the next one.
Peace!